from a transaction based ecosystem to a real time decision making ecosystem. And then I think the third one is, I don't believe this, but that's what they say, is they're not trying to automate people, they're trying to augment people. Think of a co-pilot now, right? So what do you think about that?
I just think that there's going to be a lot of false positives, but they're probably going to get rid of humans' final decision when it comes to like data driven models. When they notice that the error percentage of a human's higher than the actual AI. So at that point, it's like even if the AI messes up, it's better than a human. So that's my
Yeah.
thoughts on that.
And the companies that are the most, a lot of people think that tech companies are the companies that are most primed to become AI driven, AI fueled. But
Yeah,
in reality, it's not. In reality, the companies that are more primed to be AI fueled are companies with large amounts of data collection,
like Tesla.
like maybe Tesla, but hospitals and banks, right? And the thing about that is that hospitals are, for obvious reasons, and by law, have to be more strict with how they handle the data, right? Banks don't. So banks are more agile and they're more flexible in being able to like manage customer data in such a way that they can feed it into an algorithm and then start using AI more effectively that way. So, for example, Jay, you shop, here are your shopping habits, you shop here on these days, you shop here on those days. Based on real time data analytics, you divert it. Based on the real time data analytics and the models that we have for you, you divert it on Wednesday. So now that raises a red flag. Instead of having somebody sit down and kind of like get emails saying, "Oh, here's this person who did this." Nope. Now it's here's a red flag. Do you want to deny or allow the transaction?
Yeah,
It's real time
have you ever
analysis.
tried like doing like a Zelle payment or any transaction and then the bank you get like a message to approve or disapprove?
All the time with new people.
Yeah, or like yeah, with new people as well. I know I've gotten that, especially also if I try to take a certain amount out of my bank as well. I get a notification, or if I try to sell someone, and it might be a third party that might have had some sort of reporting done on them or something. You know, they might have done some scamming or something,
Yeah.
and then for that you would actually have to like talk to an actual like person. So they escalate it from approval, and
Right.
then once it gets approved, it gives you secondary saying sorry we couldn't approve it because due to the the reputation of the person you're trying to send money to, and then you have to like talk to a human being, and they record
Oh.
you.
No, it's good.
So yeah, so it's pretty good. So I'm thinking to myself like how can also law enforcement use this as well, or like repeating offenders,
So I
that
think
kind of data. So
I think law enforcement and hospitals might be like kind of the last few people who adopt AI technology, because right now, right, with AI technology, a lot of companies, a lot of data driven companies like insurance claims, the banks and other things that are not personal
yeah.
for that in that like a socially questionable in that regard. It's easy for them to do to use your data and AI as they want. But whenever you're dealing with police officers, now on top of trying to deal with how you manage that data, now you got to deal with the ethics behind the data. You got to make sure that the AI isn't is not biased, right? And the problem is now, and what do we mean by that? Basically, let's say you feed data. Let's say you feed crime statistic data to AI, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you do it in an irresponsible way, the models are going to show that a certain demographic group of people tend to be more violent than another.
Yeah.
If you just go out and build applications based on the solution, based on the results of those models, without taking into account the social aspect of that, that's irresponsible uses of AI. So AI still has a lot of work to do, and believe it or not, a lot of it has to do with the social department more than it has to do with the technological department for the most part. Because
Yeah.
it seems like they have their arms wrapped around pretty good AI. You have data scientists, data engineers, all that stuff, and they already kind of have systems in place to feed data into machine learning algorithms so that they can make decisions.
Do you think like all those like big tech companies have their own like business intel, like operations, or like running their own not true AI, but their own like machine learning algorithms to see like the productivity of the company and like which direction they should go
So that's another thing too,
towards.
right? According to the book, a lot of the AI initiatives and goals, like the big ones, they're
Yeah.
customer facing. They're not so much internal business facing. They're not. They're trying to make profit off of it. It seems like as quickly as possible.
But how about their yeah, I got you. I got you.
I mean, that's
I was gonna say like if it's like a company that's providing services and stuff,
yes.
but if they're providing a certain service that like
They want to profit off of it immediately, and so they focus it on the customer. Okay, how can we collect as much data on the customers, right? To
okay.
be able to automate certain things, to be able automate or to be able to have to be able to build models so that we can quote unquote so that we can better serve them and we can find out what they want and we can kind of determine what they're gonna need before they themselves even determine it. They're thinking about that. They're not even thinking so much, or the book didn't make an emphasis so much on how to automate certain departments.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I guess you make more money serving the most amount of people first than you do cutting certain parts of the department.
I see. Yeah.
Eventually, I'm sure they will automate parts of the department, but that right now does not seem to be the focus at the current moment. In the security department, they're trying to do that. They're trying to automate some tasks because for security analysts, you have to be vigilant on a whole bunch of
Yeah.
stuff as opposed to like a regular sysadmin.
And I know that a lot of a lot of places what they're doing now, they're offering, especially when it comes to security, they're offering like correlation events. So like they're able to kind of like tell a story and see why something happened and how to prevent in the future. Or they could kind of like look for a thing called I think it's called a 0 day. So it's like I think it's like an unknown
Yeah.
vulnerability that no one knows about.
Really quick for people. When somebody mentions the word 0 day exploit, that means somebody on the outside of the company discovered a vulnerability within the system that this company itself didn't know. So that's basically what a 0 day exploit is.
Yeah. So well, I know when it comes to that situation, you might actually need like I think it's like a collaboration between like AI and an actual humans
Right.
to come to a conclusion.
And that's what they're saying. They're saying it's not gonna replace people. I don't believe that. It's not gonna replace people right away. It's just gonna augment them. People talk about AI replacing people, but what people seem to miss, AI will allow companies to grow much faster without the need to add additional headcount. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the real concern at the moment. That's the immediate concern. Where it's like we have 10 people here, and now we can grow the company 10 times amount, and we don't need to. Obviously, when a company grows, it hires more people, but with AI, you don't have to hire any more people. So you're not taking jobs away. You're not even creating jobs anymore, and that's the real concern.
Maybe it could like well it might create new jobs to like support AI or something.
That's very plausible, and one of the arguments that I hear that I kind of agree with, Yaron Brooks, he asked somebody this question is, do you think we're more automated now than we were in 1920? And the answer is, of course, yeah, we are. And then he was like, do you think we have more jobs now than we did in 1920? And the answer is,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. So one thing about automation or technological advancements is that it creates opportunities that we haven't even seen before or thought of. So as far as AI is concerned, they want machine learning to be decision based as opposed to protocol based or procedure based. And what does that mean? Well, from a programming perspective, if this happens, you program the machine to say, if this happens, then do this. If this happens, then do that. They want to move away from that and make it decision based, where it's like, this person did this. Okay, based on all the data we collected on this person, what can we, the system, the machine, what can we extrapolate that's going to happen next? And if the models that we use, right, are accurate, we predict based on the models that this is going to happen next, and as a result, here's the actions that we're going to recommend the person to take. That's decision based. That's a decision based model, ecosystem, whatever, versus a predefined, pre-programmed model.
Yeah, man. I think the direction we're moving is good, man. I hope that other things get automated too, like when it comes to, I mean, it's already here with the driveless thing.
You
To,
know,
to be able to find like, the best routes and
right,
recommend like
right,
different
right,
routes and stuff like that.
right. And I think I want to see AI really big into the healthcare industry. 'Cause I think the healthcare industry has a lot of administrative bloat,
Yeah.
which drives healthcare expenses to go up. But there, in the book as well, there's a company, I think Kroger, as well as other company in Canada, they actually are a supermarket, right? But they also, one of them bought an EHR system actually, and they're trying to use all the data they collected on what the customers purchase to correlate with the health of the customer in the EHR system, and
Yeah.
then use all that data to create models and then make decisions or help people make decisions as to what they should do, what they should buy, if they want to reach certain healthcare goals. And then they're trying to incentivize them by offering them like discounts, possible health related discounts as well,
Wow.
healthcare related. And I think that's a good
Yeah.
idea, to be honest. I think that's one way to fight healthcare costs without government involvement.
I think also like those models are being created. They could probably also like sell it to other companies and stuff.
So
They're not able to afford, or
to
because a lot of the models that I've seen, they're already like predefined models
yeah,
that
yeah.
have been created, and they just run in their ecosystem.
Right. And a lot of companies are sharing data with each other
Yeah.
to try to optimize. It's like, damn, this is a lot of data we have to go through. And the other company's like, damn, this is a lot of data we have to go through. And then they
Yeah.
all put their data together and they kind of share, what have you done so far? Okay, this is what I've done so far. Let me get that. You can have this and things like that. And I think that's awesome. I think it'll be ecosystems within ecosystems. So with that being said, I think AI has a long way to go. Believe it or not, I thought AI was like knocking on the door, but it still has a long way to go. And the reason I say that is because the amount of companies, first off, AI is not like a computer that you just buy and implement and learn how to use. AI involves a lot with collecting data. So some companies that haven't even started doing that yet. Companies, the companies that are really good positions to take advantage of AI, are big data analytics companies,
Yeah.
which is why they said that the banks actually took real good advantage of that, and they were able to, using the cloud, leveraging the cloud, and offboarding their private data centers to the cloud, and using AI combined with cloud and compute technology that can scale as quickly as possible. Those companies were able to really, really, really get ahead in AI because of that. But companies who are interested in looking at AI, according to, if I read that correctly, they have to start already collecting data all over the place. Then once you have that data, then you want to feed it into AI or whatever. Then you decide what you want to do with that data. There's also a thing called blue collar AI approach, which is like, all right, what are we doing now? What process are we doing now? And how can we integrate it how can we integrate AI into the process? So it's like a slow burn.
Mm.
So the book is called All In on AI. I think it's pretty dope. Um, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I understood everything the book was saying, but a lot of stuff kind of made sense, like automation versus augmentation. Um, they're not gonna replace jobs, but they're not gonna create jobs. Like companies won't create jobs as they expand, or not. They won't create as much jobs as they expand. Um, Data is gonna be the new currency,
Yeah.
for companies, because with that data they can tailor services to specific demographics of people to give them what they need, or nefarious to like manipulate their behaviors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think AI of course is the future. There's no stopping that. One thing that I did like to see, and I don't know how much I trust this, but a lot of these companies already started AI committees to ensure that that AI is as transparent and as unbiased and is used as responsibly as possible. Microsoft has their whole OpenAI, not OpenAI, but like the whole AI thing. But for you to use it, you have to like sign up for it, and they have to like approve you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you want to use AI in your whatever
The-
application you're building.
The Chat GPT or
No. Like, let's say you're developing a system
Yeah.
and you want to use AI and you need to use either Azure or something like that, and you go with Azure.
yeah,
You can't just like, okay, you know how you could deploy a VM, right click deploy VM. You can't just right click deploy AI models. You have to somehow like
get it approved.
get approved. Yeah, what are you gonna use it for? What's the goals? Blah blah blah, things like that. So